Welcome to Inside the Arena, your source for everything off the ice, off the court, and outside the field of play. With your hosts, KOMO Sports Director Niko and KOMO Senior Reporter Chris Daniels.
We're live.
Let's do
kind
it.
of. Almost as a show that once was broadcast in Seattle.
There you go. How are you doing, Chris?
It's a special holiday edition. We're dealing with all our magical Merry Elves.
Yes, they are in the control room here in the Inside Arena studios, but we're going to fight through this.
Yes, ITA episode 30, a special holiday edition with Jamie Munson.
You see his hat right here?
The owner of Simply Seattle, a longtime business, sports business, and we like to talk about everything going off the ice, off the court, off the field of play. Jamie, thank you so much.
You bet. Appreciate you guys having me.
Coming in for this special holiday edition. You know, we usually go around the four corners when we do this on a weekly basis, and this is, you know, the time of year when we're thankful for things. Anything you're thankful for in the world of sports?
Yeah, I don't know that I'd be thankful for it, but it's something I kind of like. That kind of gets a bad rap a little bit. I actually like the NBA Cup, which wrapped up last week. From the standpoint of, on the surface, I get it. You're like, well, what is this in-season tournament? But we're dealing in an era where guys are opting out of games. I hate that term, opting out since bowl season. But you know what I'm saying? They're doing the workload management. And for families that are spending hundreds of dollars they don't have to go to a game, and then LeBron or Anthony Edwards or whoever it is isn't playing, at least this incentivizes those guys to play because there's actual money on the line, you know, hundreds of thousands for each player in the winning team and things like that. So I like it. Do I think anybody cares who wins the cup as far as like, you know, Milwaukee winning it and, hey, we won the NBA Cup? No. But I think it provides meaningful games and more opportunities for fans that want to go, that have to spend their money and actually see the guys they paid to see. So I like it.
Well, and the thing I like that's broad as we're in this time of year is, the Pac-12 still exists.
It's alive.
They're still going to get a TV digital rights deal. They're still going to add another team into that league, and we should find out shortly after the holiday season how that's all going to work out.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. It's one of those things where you see how many people are watching the Cougs, or you see how we talked about this, how many former Pac-12 teams did great things. You know, Arizona State's in the college football playoff. Certainly Oregon is in there as well. And it's like, we didn't have to break this thing up if things were just done properly, right? Yeah,
between Oregon and SMU and Arizona State could have been Pac-12 schools. And, you know, let's not focus on the negative this time of year. Let's just focus on the positive.
I'm with that.
And one of the things that I think is great in the city of Seattle is Simply Seattle. And there's a story here for Jamie Munson to tell. That's why we wanted to have him here in the studio. Our good friend Eric Johnson profiled Jamie just a few years ago about everything that he has done as a business owner in downtown Seattle, near Pike Place Market, not Pike's Place, Mike Tirico, your Syracuse guy, but near
Nice.
Pike Place Market. And let's start off by at least giving people some background about Simply Seattle. Here's what Eric Johnson reported as part of Eric's Heroes back in 2021.
It's such a stunning place, downtown Seattle, a special place in all of its quirky, cool, gorgeous glory.
I think Seattle's got a long history of resilience.
Jamie Munson knows that better than most. That's his store, a store tied to the city of Seattle by name and by spirit, and a deep-rooted, heartfelt belief in the place.
We love Seattle. It's a cool spot. We love like the culture and the arts and all that. I'm a huge sports fan, so I love the sports, and the idea of like being involved in retail in downtown Seattle was a super exciting opportunity.
Simply Seattle is just up from the Pike Place Market. There are tourist items here for sure, but this place celebrates Seattle for Seattle. The city, the weather, the funkiness of it all. Like so many other businesses, though, for a time it looked like Simply Seattle might simply go away, the way 500 others have in the Emerald City. The pandemic hit hard. Jake Smith is a manager.
18 months ago, back in March when we had to close our stores, there was like a couple days there where it was really scary. We didn't know if we were going to be able to stay open. I didn't know what I was going to be doing for work, kind of on a day-to-day.
But even before the pandemic and now after, there has been drug addiction-fueled theft all around the Seattle area. Break-ins, smash and grabs, constant shoplifting. John Scholes is with the Downtown Seattle Association.
This is real impact to lots of businesses in our city, to their property, to their employees that are, being asked to sort of, again, defend and be on the front lines of this problem that local government, frankly, hasn't responded to in the ways they need to.
Their store in Pioneer Square was pillaged hard. 2 years ago, after their fourth major theft of the year, Simply Seattle posted online, "We're tired of being robbed." The store was eventually shut down for good. It continued. This was last January. And this past July, these guys broke into the store by the market and took what they wanted. Jamie posted online, "We're trying to hang on in downtown Seattle, but the circumstances are making it very difficult."
How many break-ins have you had?
We kind of lost count, to be honest. I mean, we've had, probably 5 or 6 big overnight kind of smash and grabs, and then a lot of pretty brazen theft during the day, where people are like, well, there's no consequences. I don't care. I'm coming in, I'm taking an armload of stuff, and I'm running down the street.
But something amazing was happening too. Seattle, the people, not the buildings, was responding.
In May, when we got hit hard and, windows smashed all over downtown, we had 30, 40 people from online just show up to help us out, and they're boarding up the windows and supporting us. So for every hard, tragic thing that happens, there's 10-fold, 20-fold better things that are happening, and people respond, well, move to Kent, move to Bellevue, move here. And it's like, well, we're not going to change our name, and the city of Seattle is not going away, and we're committed to this long haul, being a part of the solution, helping where we can.
It was change or die, so they went big with online sales.
We went in and grabbed all of our inventory. We took it to our warehouse and we had to put it all up on our website just to kind of see what would sell.
They gave away 70,000 masks on the website for free. They started a program where they sell $25 hoodies, and $5 of each sale goes to the Food Lifeline. They're up to $10,000 worth of food donated so far. And in a stroke of genius, they hitched their star to the Seattle Supersonics. Simply Seattle has become the team shop for a team that doesn't even exist. These days, they bring in legends like Sean Kemp and Gary Payton and create online content to help fans dream a little. And they got creative. They whipped up their own designs for teams like the Seattle Kraken.
Just a fun, clever little design, and
It's really good.
people have loved it. The kid.
They celebrate sports icons with their designs. They revel in the history of the place they love, and people are eating it up. At their small warehouse, online orders are filled all day long. A giant pile of boxes waits to be delivered. At their stores, like Seattle itself, business is showing signs of recovery. The people of Seattle are noticing. Ask Brandon.
Well, for them to bring it out and show hey, we're still open and, we're going through a lot of stuff, but for Seattle to just support and see how much this store actually means to them is the coolest thing.
So many collapsed under the pressure, walked away. But this store, inextricably tied to the fortunes of its namesake city, took another path. They pushed all their chips to the middle of the table and doubled down on the city they loved. And it works.
We're here and we're local and we have a heartbeat for the city, and we want to continue to be a part of that.
Simply Seattle. Simply inspiring.
All right, that's our good friend Eric Johnson.
We miss you, Eric.
With the profile of Jamie Munson and Simply Seattle. You hear what you had to go through in downtown Seattle to keep the business going. 3 years have gone by now, roughly, since Eric did that profile. How are things different now, 3 years later?
Yeah, man, that was a great piece. I was so thankful for that. I don't feel or call myself a hero, but it was fun to be profiled like that. And it's been a challenge, right, since COVID and break-ins and all the different window smash and different things we've gone through, just kind of figuring out how to continue to operate a healthy business downtown. So we're thankful we're on the other side of that. Seattle's coming back. There's a lot of people downtown. There's a lot of people downtown shopping. The new waterfront project is amazing. So it's nice to be kind of on the other side of the massive challenges, even though we still have issues we're dealing with on a day-to-day basis.
You could have given up. Why did you stay in that spot?
Yeah, that's a good question. One, we had a lease. Two, we love Seattle. That's who we are. Our name is simply Seattle. Everyone said, go online, just be online only. And we want to be like a place where people can come, pregame, get their gear, connect with the community. And, it's an iconic corner, First and Pine. You're right downtown, right across from the market. And we just love it. We love being down there, even though it's tough some days.
Yeah, what have you seen from, people that are coming to your store, and we'll get into this to find Sonics gear in particular, but people that are coming downtown again to say go to the Overlook Walk. I mean, what's the feedback you're getting from people? Because there's, over time there's been some good and some bad, and Eric talked about that in his piece. But I mean, what are you getting in terms of feedback from tourists that come into your store?
Yeah. Overall, I think Seattle has so much going for it, right? It's beautiful. It's right on the water. You got the Space Needle, all the touristy stuff, but then the food scene, the nightclub, or the night scene, the bars, the restaurants. There's just a lot to do downtown, and it's cool to see these businesses that have hung on, because they're kind of banding together, working together to make it a vibrant place. And so I think people love it, whether they're getting on a cruise ship or they're going to a game. There's just so much to see and experience in downtown, and it's nice to see some positive momentum when it comes to visitors and traffic and all that.
Chris was talking a minute ago about the Sonics gear and how you sell it. And certainly it's a business thing, right? But by selling that gear, and you see it all over, you see your stuff all over the city, right? You're keeping a team that is not currently in action, hopefully for not much longer.
Totally.
But you're keeping that interest alive. You're keeping hope alive in some instances.
Yep.
Have you thought about how impactful that is?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of wrote down in my notes earlier, I was just thinking about this Sonic story today, that the team has no hope of coming back if the fans aren't doing what they're doing. If they're not out there, events, rallies, buying gear, different things, and showing the interest in kind of the NBA returning, I don't think there's any chance the team comes back. And so it's fun to be at the core of that. I ran the numbers today. 40% of our sports sales come from Sonic's gear, which is amazing. There's no team, right?
Yeah.
It's all vintage, it's all retro, it's all old school, it's all reliving memories. But 40% of our sports sale have come from Sonic's gear. So it's fun to just see, like 9 times out of 10, you see something Sonic's around town, it's come from us.
Yeah, as my wife laments, my paycheck too comes from that. Hey,
we appreciate that.
No problem. It's awesome stuff. And to piggyback off that a little bit, so mentioning how it keeps the memories alive, we've seen you guys do work with Gary, Sean, and others. Again, the idea behind that, but also, I mean, how fun is it to keep the memory alive in that way and keep the interest going? At the same time, it's a obviously highly successful business model as well.
Yeah, we've done a few events with Gary and Sean and Detlef and different guys, but some of the best memories for me of those events are you're at the event, someone brings in a photo from when they took a picture as a little kid with Gary on the court, and now they're getting to come meet him again and see that, and just to see what an impact they had on so many people's childhoods and this community back in the 90s and all that was amazing. And that's why we need them back. We want those memories again.
What do you think it is about the Sonics story that has resonated with people for so long? I mean, this is a team that hasn't been around since 2008, as you know, 16 into 17 years, but people still call themselves Sonics fans, even though there's not a team here. You've got the hat on. You said how many people are buying the stuff. Why do you think that this brand, this team has resonated with people for so long?
I think a couple of reasons. One, Seattle's a basketball city, right? You see IT and Jamal Crawford and these legends that have gone on to play in the NBA, and they're beating that drum constantly. Bring them back, bring them back, bring them back. And so Seattle's a basketball town. I think that's a big part of it. Secondly, I think there's just, those memories. You're in the finals. You're watching Rain Man, Lob City. You're doing all that. You're seeing that. Like, that's emotional. That connects with you as a person and as a child or an adult or whatever it is. And you want to relive that. You want a chance to kind of redeem that and have that story continue. So I think it's a classic, success, tragedy, and hopefully reuniting that's amazing for the community.
How do you, as we all know, we're hoping it's happening sooner rather than later. So how do you prepare for something like that? 40% of your sales when the team is not here is Sonics. How do you prepare for what we're hoping is inevitable, their return?
Yeah. If you walked around our warehouse, you'd think we're crazy. Like, why do you have so many Sonics hats? Why do you have so many jerseys? Why do you have so many things? And it's almost like a little bit of a stockpile war chest that we've been building this collection for years. I was telling Chris earlier that when I took over Simply Seattle in 2017, the former owner had 2 shirts that were Sonic shirts, and both were bootlegged. We were just ripping off the logo and printing them, and now we've grown this collection that we really can say it's the largest in the world. Like, we have more Sonics gear for sale than anywhere else in the world, and it's so fun to kind of keep building that. But we're a little crazy. We're hoping that pays off here in the next couple of years.
I was just going to say, one of the questions that always comes up when we talk about the Sonics and the NBA is, I don't want to spend money and put money into Clay Bennett's pocket. How does this work from a franchising level, from a sales level? When people are buying stuff from Simply Seattle, are they sending a check to Clay Bennett in Oklahoma City?
Indirectly, probably, yes. There is a rev share deal, so the owners share 1/30th, I believe, of every sale. So everything that's a Dallas Maverick sale goes to Clay Bennett, a piece of that. And so, yes, there's that complaint, but at the same time, it's like we don't want to rip it off. It's all licensed gear. We have to go be above board when we're selling it and what we're doing with it. So we've embraced that and know that, when the Sonics do come back, when someone buys a Oklahoma City Thunder, the Sonics is going to benefit from that.
I know we could talk Sonics all night, but there's a lot more you guys do. And I'm curious about, certainly we've seen a lot of Huskies gear, and what a last year it was, the 2023 football season, 2024 title game. How have you guys really been able to navigate this new world of NIL and used it to enhance these athletes' profiles and enhance your business and all these things that go along with it?
Yeah, man, what a ride, right? I can't even believe that was less than a year ago, right?
Crazy.
That the national championship was. And so that was our first year being licensed by UW. What a year to come in and kind of get that honor. And then UW picked one local licensee to kind of be able to make all of the playoff stuff. So we were chosen for that, and that was just a huge honor and privilege to kind of be a part of that. So we worked with Rome and Penix and J-Mac and Jalen Polk and all those guys. We had a few shirts we were ready to drop that I'm so bummed we never got the chance. One was Penix's Heisman, which he should have won.
Yes, absolutely.
We had that ready to go. Obviously, national championship stuff. It's one of those stories that maybe 10 years from now we'll share some of the designs, but we were so excited to roll those out. But it's been really cool. Obviously, Penix is getting the start,
love
which
that.
is pretty cool. And so just to have that Husky legacy and have a connection with him to our company and a friendship with him over, the last couple of years is really important to us and, kind of our company.
Yeah, how has not only the Sonics and the Huskies partnership, but how has this kind of separated your company versus, I think we were talking a little bit off mic about the Fanatics of the world that do a lot of mail order business. You've pivoted. We heard Eric talk about pivoting to a lot of mail order retail. How does this separate you from some of those bigger guys, for lack of a better description?
Yeah, we definitely do a bunch of e-commerce on our website, but for us, it's about being local. Like, Fanatics does not care about the local story, right? They're not doing a bunch of NIL deals with local guys and giving back to the community. And so we work with Penix, and, we'll make these shirts, so we'll do this deal with him, but a big part of it is charity-driven, too. So we're supporting Mary's Place, and, a lot of the proceeds from those things are going to help, local Seattle communities. So I think that's the big thing. We're the little guy in the midst of billion-dollar companies and big teams, and we're trying to do right by the city, give back to the city, be a part of that community. And, on social media, you can have a much better pulse on what's happening with the community than you can if you're a Fanatics or one of the big guys.
Well, perfectly to that point is the idea that we've seen a lot of big events happen, and within hours, you guys have a shirt out there, rally issue. I mean, there's countless. I could go down the list. What is it about that? Capitalizing on the moment, tapping into that fan. And you just mentioned it, that engagement. How much does that help in that regard?
Yeah. We're always kicking around ideas in the office, right? Okay, what happens if Geno goes off? Or, back in the Russell Wilson, Marshawn Lynch days, we're thinking through that. I'm wearing one right now. Shamelessly plug it. We haven't released it, but we're ready. Expand, right? When the NBA comes back, we've got kind of the designs, and so we're always kind of tinkering with ideas, but it's all about speed. Something happens, and our team is working late in the night. We're designing something. Occasionally, we've thrown up a blank image of a shirt and said, "Trust us, it's going to be cool." And we're selling a blank shirt. People don't even know what the design was. Those have been fun stories.
It's like tapping into the emotion of it, and it's got to be huge, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
You have to. Cal hitting the home run there, the walk-off, the droughts ended, you got to jump on those moments when they hit.
I think one of your guys found me outside the stadium that night and brought me a prototype. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it was that night, wasn't it?
I love it. Yep.
Yeah. That was a lot of fun. Getting to show that on the air about 2 hours after the home run.
Totally.
Do you ever hear from any of the teams who may say, this one hits a little too close to home? Can you back off or anything like that?
We try and be careful, not use logos, things that hint at the colors and all of that. I think our only cease and desist that I recall was from Doug Baldwin's agent at one time, back in the day. But yeah, we're careful. We did get in trouble back in 2014, or was it 2014? When did the UW go to the last playoffs?
16?
16, yes. We had to beat Bama shirt, and beat Bama is trademarked because that's everyone's rally cry, is right? beat Bama, and so that's trademarked. You couldn't use it. We didn't know it, but so we took it down. And
I like it though. I mean, again, it's capitalizing on that moment, and that's an interesting question, Chris. I like that.
Yeah, well, it's all about what's going on off the court, off the ice, off the field of play, right? And the business side of sports here, and you're knee deep in it, and you've established yourself as the team store without a team. And you were in Pioneer Square for a while. You've obviously been in downtown and kind of pivoted to mail order. So do you think that mail order is the future here, or do you think you're going to have brick and mortar as well?
I think we got to do both. The internet's easy because lots of people love to shop on their phone, their laptop, whatever. But there's nothing beats kind of in person, interacting with people, game day, whatever it is. You're shopping for your friends and your family, and you come in, your downtown experience in Seattle, that retail presence is so important. So we plan to stay there, continue to do that. We'd love to build an iconic sports-only store one of these days, some sort of flagship. That'd be kind of fun.
Well, it's all about getting the water. I mean, the connection to the waterfront, right, and the Overlook Walk. You said you've been excited about what that has meant for connecting downtown and the retail court.
Sure.
Yep. Our store down on Pier 54, we've seen a big lift over the last 6 months just as that gets finished up. I think next year will be really strong down there. People can seamlessly get from downtown to the waterfront to the stadiums. It's just a great project that's fun to see wrap up.
I'm curious with the online orders, what is the furthest away that you why does this person here want a Sonics hat or a Mariners shirt or whatever it is?
Literally shipped something to the North Pole. We're looking at the label and we're like, this says the North Pole. It was amazing. So we've gone to Alaska. There's a bunch of Sonics fans overseas. A lot of European Sonics fans, so we'll send product out there.
That's cool.
But yeah, we're shipping all over the place.
I was curious about that. And the North Pole, where is that? North Pole, Alaska? How's that?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
How did I not know the North Pole was in Alaska?
Well, ho, ho, ho.
Merry Christmas.
And speaking of the holidays, shameless plug. I mean, Simply Seattle has been advertising a bunch of stuff. We're not necessarily about, advertising here.
Sure.
We're good, solid journalists, but I know that you have been doing a lot here over the holidays, trying to get the word out about Simply Seattle. Anything you wanted to say about that?
SimplySeattle.com, that's our website. If you don't follow us on social, you should. It's just at Simply Seattle on everything, but we've always got deals going on, local stuff. We really work hard to find exclusive gear you can't find anywhere else, so we'll work with vendors to design pieces that you can only find with us. And Sonic stuff, if you want to be ready for the return, that's the place to be.
This has got to be so exciting for you. I mean, we talked about that being prepared and everything like that, but this, the Sonics returning is like your Super Bowl, right?
It's going to be big.
Yeah.
It's going to be big. It's going to be fun. We're really excited about that.
And I'll just give you a shameless plug. I've seen Jamie over the years at so many different events and so many different fundraisers. There's no BS there from Jamie. Yes, you're a business guy, but I've also seen you out in the community at events ranging from Rise Above to fundraisers for the Sonics Legends Fund and others. So that is legit, and you have put in the work related to doing things in the community.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Business is business, but really we're about people at the core, and connecting with the community is super important to us.
Yeah, we love it. thanks for coming on with us. We really appreciate that.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. This has been awesome.
Thanks for working through our holiday elves around here at the mighty KOMO.
I'm glad it was you guys dealing with the tech stuff, not me. So I just got to sit back and watch.
There you go. Yeah, and so I just got to say it's been so cool to in just a few years here see the events you guys capitalize on. I'll make the joke again, but it's true. My wife's like sees a package from Simply Seattle, so I've had to start doing pickup orders so I don't get in trouble.
Yeah,
She'll eventually see it in the bank statement. But
we got the new blue packages that get shipped out too, right?
Yes,
So they show up. They're harder to hide than.
Well, sometimes on my way out from work, it's during the little guy's nap. And I walk out the front door to go, and there's a little blue bag there. And just stuff it in my work bag and bring it to work. There's a few in my desk over here.
I love
it. But I guess the point I'm trying to make is it's just really cool to see you capture the energy of fans here. As Chris mentioned, the charitable aspects, like, yeah, you're a business, but you're helping out the community, both charitably, but also keeping hope alive, whether it's the return of the Sonics, whether it's just the most loyal fans of the Mariners, just hoping and hanging on to hope for one day.
I think they're getting back to the playoffs next year.
I do too.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed they make some things happen, but falling one game short 2 years in a row, even just making Dan Wilson be the head of it, I think I have hope for that as well in the new year.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we love the city, we love the teams, we love working with the community. It's been fun.
Awesome.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays to you.
Thank you.
David Lee, take us out. Ho, ho, ho.
You've been listening to Inside the Arena with Niko and Chris. Please subscribe on your favorite platform. Until next time.